Hey guys, welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to start a new series on Docker. So, my series will be completely based on the projects, but will add a little bit touch of theory to this playlist this time, because sometimes we also need to understand why we are using this service and what is the importance of using the service. So the project will mainly cover the usage of Docker and the containerization. So let's get started with the video. Okay. So I would like to say that what is Docker? Why do we need Docker? The first question that arises on anybody's mind, that why we are using this service. I mean, it's a DevOps tool actually, but if we go about using DevOps in cloud in the real world, it's very important to understand that why we are using Docker. What is the importance of using Docker? It's a very pivotal tool for in DevOps field basically. Okay, so let's go about taking an example first, and then we'll figure out how to solve this problem. So the problem is, I'll tell you the problem is what the problem is. Your boss or your manager gives you a task, actually two tasks basically. He tells you to deploy a Java application and a PHP application, okay? And at the same time, um, he is also saying to you that you have to kind of customize, or you have to you know deploy these two applications in a most optimal feasible way, right? Optimal way. So the obviously the main constraint should be the focus should be always around maintaining the five uh, well architected frameworks or the foundations of cloud. So obviously cost optimization is one of those, and you have to maintain that. Obviously have to look for the cost optimization, because it's very important, right? You cannot just go about clicking and just launching the service, right? In the real world, in the real time, you have to think from the cost perspective, like which services or which method will be the most best way to the optimal way to go about, so that our services can be cost of the services can be reduced, and we can efficiently, effectively deliver our services, right? So that should be the main concentration of the that should be the main focus of while deploying or while working on cloud and as a DevOps and cloud engineer, right? So that is the approach. Okay, so yeah, the question is that you have to deploy two applications, obviously taking uh, considering cost optimization in mind. Okay, obviously, if there is a newbie, right, he will go about launching two different instances. If he doesn't know about Docker or DevOps tools, definitely what he'll do that he'll simply go about the person will go about launching two different instances, and will deploy the PHP application on one instance and the Java application on the other instance, right? And he'll say, okay, boss, I'm ready with the solution. Okay, so did he do anything right or wrong or something like that? If you are aware of cloud and DevOps, so you will obviously, if you don't know about DevOps, you will definitely say, okay, that's the right thing to do. Yeah, we can launch the instance and we can simply deploy the websites or the applications. But it's not the optimal way. It's a right way. What he did is right, but it's not that optimal, right? Because we have a very pivotal tool in DevOps, which is Docker. And by the help of Docker, he could have used, or he could have deployed these two different applications on one instance only, right? And which will make it more optimal, and also will be able to follow the well architected framework foundation, because cost optimization at the end is very important. So that is the point of using Docker and the containers, right? By the help of Docker tool, we can deploy as many as applications we want on one infra. Okay, so now we understood what Docker is all about and its concepts, its theoretical concepts as well. But what about like how to go about implementing this whole idea in real world, right? We just don't have to just learn this, right? We have to implement in the real time. So basically, when implementing it, we need to have one VM at least. If we should have a one VM, and then I can launch that, and then I need to install Docker. I'll just go into the depth of all this a little later, but I'm just telling you the basic concepts as of now. Like the Docker should be installed on your machine, then you have to start the daemons of the Docker, and after that you have to create the image, right? With the help of Docker, either you can manually make a Docker file and then create the put the code whatever you need and then create the image out of it, or you can also pre-defined images, or we can see already created images from the Docker hub. I'll just show you. Wait, this is the Docker hub. It's a very important basically a it's a tool where you can find lot of images about of different operating systems and applications. Like if I talk about any, like for example, I want to use an Apache operating system, you don't have to install it separately, you just can go about uh, pulling the image. So you'll get the command like docker pull ubuntu Apache 2, and you'll simply get the image of Apache. So it's like it's more of like either you have your own images, or you can also pull the images as per your requirement, and then you can create n number of containers. You can create n number of containers out of your um, that one single image. So how can we really do that in the real time? Like there a lot of things depends, like the RAM, CPU, memory. There are a lot of things. You know, if you have used a free tier instance type, then obviously you cannot you cannot run multiple uh, containers at the same time. Like if you're thinking about I'll launch 10 instances and then will work absolutely fine in the t2.micro instance type, then it's not going to work. Obviously you have to take care of these factors: your RAM storage, your RAM usage, CPU usage, memory, what is the memory, and all these things are very crucial important part, right? That more the memory more the containers will work efficiently on your machine. That is what I'm trying to say. So also you have to take care of that. And but in I've also practiced in my real in the real time. In t2.micro, I created like three containers, and they were working absolutely fine, but they were a little bit slow, but they were working fine. So you can at least create three containers out of that. And you also it also depends upon how your connectivity is working. So yeah. So after that, So after creating the image, you can create containers out of it, and then you can create multiple containers as per your choice. But what about container? What is this container? What exactly it has, and what exactly how it works? So let me tell you, the container is absolutely nothing. Container is just a container which acts like a container. That's it. You have to fill your stuff by yourself. It means that Docker basically provides the OS virtualization. It means that when you will create the container out of any image, no, you will not get anything in that container. There is no utility, there is no package installed, pre-installed. There is nothing like that. Like so you have to take care of this thing that whatever the image you create the container out of, you will only and only get the operating system. You will get the operating system only. So after that, whatever the operating system you have used, so you can create the image and you can create the container out of that image. That is it. That's all container has. Container has the OS, and what as per you our usage and as per our requirement and customization, we can install as many utilities as we can. As much as memory we need, we can add to that. That's the concept of containers. Like the amount of water you drink is the amount of water you need in the container, right? So the amount of work that you need to do to deploy a specific application or the software, you need to have those or you need to have the resources pre-installed on your machine, right? There are a lot of utilities that we have already installed, we get already installed, pre-installed on our operating systems, but you will not find on the container. You will find only the operating system. Now increasing its size, its memory, its usage, it's completely up to you. It's just like a, it's just as I told you before, it's just like OS virtualization, right? You just simply provide it with the OS, and then you add your stuff to that. It simply means that it's really helpful to save a lot of memory, to save a lot of time, efforts, and obviously your the performance of your machine gets improved. For example, in my system, right, in my system there are a lot of applications which are not for my use, like they're completely unused, right? I don't need this calculator, I don't need this camera. Obviously I need the camera, but I don't use it. Calculator, calendar, I don't use that, right? There are a lot of things that I don't need in my system, or maybe that you find completely useless. And my systems, somehow these being installed on my system and being used by the memory, and it's completely not good because it's somehow hindering the performance of my and the free flow working of my applications softwares, right? So container is basically completely based on OS virtualization, that you will only have the things that are required for you, that are required to run your application. That's it. That is it all about. You will need Java packages and all that stuff, and then you will deploy your application. So you can create a different container for that. You need your PHP for that. Whatever the prerequisites needed for PHP, you will install in the different container and deploy that PHP application in that container. As simple as that, right? So this was the all about the theoretical part of the containers, the Dockers, and it's a very good it's also very interesting, because when we do it in the real world, I personally enjoy working on Docker and containers because it's fun, right? Deploying different applications, checking them, troubleshooting them, it's very important. It gets very interesting, it's not at all boring and stuff. So we'll in the next video, we'll create a project from the scratch. We'll deploy a simple website, and you will also create it into the image, our own customized image. We'll push it to the Docker Hub, and also we'll create containers out of that, right? So this is all about it, and hope you like this video. Hope you like the content that I provided in the video, and that is it about it. And just do let me know how was the video, and was it informative or not. And also do subscribe to my channel, do like my video. Thank you so much, thank you for watching my video.